Transport of gases. In our body, oxygen as well as carbon dioxide are transported. So, how are they transported? Now, first, we'll take a look at transport of oxygen. In the hemoglobin, now hemoglobin is present inside RBC. Hemoglobin is present inside the RBC. Now, hemoglobin combines with oxygen. Hemoglobin can also combine with carbon dioxide, and it is based on the partial pressures. If the partial pressure of oxygen is high, then the hemoglobin will combine with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. So this is how oxygen is transported in blood, and this can be shown in the form of a graph. If you are plotting partial pressure of oxygen on one axis, and on the other axis we are writing percentage saturation of hemoglobin with oxygen. We get a sigmoid curve. Now, why the graph is sigmoid is that initially, as the partial pressure of oxygen increases, hemoglobin binds with oxygen. But after some time, the hemoglobin gets saturated with oxygen. So there will be no more hemoglobin left to bind with the oxygen, and so the slope becomes leveled. And that's how we get a sigmoid curve or S curve. Now this curve is also called oxygen dissociation curve. This curve is called oxygen dissociation curve. It's called oxygen dissociation curve because it helps in understanding the effect of factors like partial pressure of carbon dioxide, H plus concentration. Now these are the situations. If it is in case of alveoli, so in alveoli the partial pressure of oxygen is high and the H plus concentration is low. That means the pH is high. H plus represents acidity. More the H plus, more acidic it is. So if H plus concentration is less means pH is high, then temperature is low, and partial pressure of carbon dioxide is also low. In such factors or in such situations, the curve, that is sigmoid curve, will be shifted towards the left. That means there will be a left shift. This situation happens when more oxyhemoglobin forms. So the curve shifts towards left. In another situation, that is in case of tissues. In tissues, the opposite happens. In tissues, the partial pressure of oxygen is less, H plus concentration is high. So if H plus concentration is high means pH will be low and the temperature will be high in tissues. The carbon dioxide, as a result of cellular respiration, partial pressure of carbon dioxide will be high. In that case, the curve will shift towards right side. So then the curve will shift towards right. So when the curve shifts towards right, that means the oxyhemoglobin will dissociate. Hemoglobin will detach itself. Hemoglobin will detach itself to form hemoglobin plus oxygen. That's how oxygen is released from the blood towards the tissues. So if the tissues in the tissues carbon dioxide amount is high, their oxyhemoglobin will dissociate. So that's why this curve is also called oxygen dissociation curve. So this is about transport of oxygen.